Hey Blake, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
Good morning, Tommy. Good to see you, gentlemen.
You as
Good to
well.
see you.
All right, happy Thursday, and I am really excited about bringing you guys in. You guys have really flown under the radar for many years, but before we get into like what you guys are doing, what the Gelber Group or who the Gelber Group is, and what you're doing with the breakout, I want to first talk to Tommy and say, Tommy, you and I just recently met.
Mhm.
Tell everybody how you got my name and got my information, and how we came to talk.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been in markets since 2005. I graduated college. I went to Barclays Capital to Wall Street, ended up on an FX trading desk. And I met a gentleman named Tommy McGrath, and he was at Fortis Bank, and we were just talking trading and became chat buddies. And 19 years later, we're still close. We chat every day about markets, foreign exchange, and other markets, and we know each other personally. And so a few months ago, when I was working on building out this project, I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, I think you know this Blake Morrow guy. I followed him on Twitter for years. I've never talked to him, the Pip Czar. And I know he's got a big, retail trader following and a great community. So can you connect us?" And so a couple of texts later, here we are on your show. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, and it's really nice to be here, to have you here as well. Tommy is a trader that I traded with. That's my last 2.5 years when I was at Gellis, before when I came from the Florida firm over to the Greenwich firm. And Tommy is, by the way, it's like my wife loves Tommy McGrath. If you're listening in, Tommy, my wife's a big Tommy fan. But Tommy, it's really nice that we end up knowing a lot of the same people. And then when you introduced me to David, we know a lot of the same people too, a lot of the same traders, and you've traded. Tell us a little bit about your background and some of the people that we know together.
Sure. Well, good morning, Blake, and hi to all your viewers. And thanks for inviting us on the podcast. This is a first for Tommy and I, so it's pretty exciting. Yeah, I've been in currency trading, market trading for 35 years now. Started working in London for Revco London, who are no longer in business, but it was a great intro into the markets. Spent a long time at AUG when they took over Drexel Burnham, and then I've been with Gelber for the last 19 years. And I believe you and I both know Phil Gallos, who I worked with at AIG, a fantastic trader. And over the years, we've met a lot of people who we have similar contacts with.
Yeah, and David, when we talk about Phil Gellos, it's like we were having this discussion separately about, he is like truly one of the most outstanding traders I've ever seen, and I try to instill this in our trading community too. It's like the guy, if he's wrong, he just doesn't stay wrong. And if you just take that one simple concept of like always protecting your capital, always watching your risk, and just if you make a mistake or a bad call, just get out really quick and then move along. And that in itself, I mean, of course, he's probably one of the more intelligent people I've ever met, but as you pointed out, he's an outstanding trader. And it's cool that I've run along the same community as you guys. But I want to, since I've got you here, David, I want to ask you about the Gelber Group, and tell us a little bit about this group, and how have you guys come on, stayed under the radar for so many years? For like, you tell us a little bit about
Sure.
the Gelber Group.
Right. Well, the Gelber Group is actually founded by another outstanding trader, Brian Gelber. Brian Gelber was based in the Chicago pits in the 80s. He and his brother started Gelber. Brokerage sort of trading back then was a little more mixed. And then in the early 90s, he moved the business to become a full proprietary trading business above the CME into offices, and started hiring discretionary traders. Really took off in the 2000s, the financial collapse, 2007 to 2008. Our currency business took off, and Brian has continued hiring and backing discretionary traders. ever since. And the firm, we're probably under the radar because we're a private firm. We have no client business. It's all discretionary money. It's partner money. And so we're not, we have no clients to report to. And we're a fairly, we're a flat sort of management type firm. We hire traders and we want them to perform as entrepreneurs. And that's kind of where we're going with this new competition.
It's cool. And I have to say this because the Gelber Group is just a bigger form of the firms that I've traded for over the last, up until a few years ago that I traded for years past. The discretionary type of trading, but you really only get your foot in the door because you know somebody. So this is a really amazing opportunity for so many traders that are listening in right now, I feel. And that's why I'm so happy that you guys are here. Tommy, let me ask you this. Tommy, how long have you been with Gelber Group? And then tell us a little bit about how you guys trade and your general strategy and what it's like in the New York office between, like, I know it's not just you and David, but there's many of you that are in the office. And tell us a little bit about the interactions when you're in person trading, on the floor.
Sure. So I was only at Barclays for a couple of years. Dave hired me here in the New York office in 2007. So I'm coming up on my 17th anniversary at Gelber Group. Love the culture, love the firm. Feels like family. Very, very happy here. So Gelber has a diversity of trading groups. If you want to ask how we're structured, I mean, we trade all asset classes, all time frames, both discretionary and algorithmic. We have a few equity options focus groups. We have a large fixed income group that trades everything from T-bills to the long end of the curve. We have several large algo groups that trade everything under the sun. We even have a group that trades carbon credits here at Gelber. Our group here in New York, and there are a couple of groups like us in Chicago, it's kind of hard to put a label on us. We are multi-asset discretionary traders across various time frames, and we look at everything from global macro to technicals to sentiment and positioning, price action, all those different inputs, and we just formulate intraday or multi-day trade views. FX is my bread and butter. It's where I started out in my career, Dave as well. So we obviously focus on FX a lot, but we trade a ton of futures on things like gold and silver, S&P and NASDAQ, Bitcoin and ETH, anything that moves on the CME, we're happy to trade it. We're also very event focused and reactionary in nature. As you guys know, the best of the best cannot predict markets all the time. So of course we have views, we take positions and punts, but we try to be experts at very quickly reacting to new information that comes to the market. So as you guys know, this week, I'm sure you were all focused on Bank of Japan Tuesday night, the Fed yesterday, the Bank of England this morning. Those are big events for us. We're also going to be tuned into NFP tomorrow, of course, inflation reports, big data releases like that. Politics matter, so we'll be zoned in on the election, whether we want to or not. We have to follow every little piece of every polling over the next few months because it impacts our markets. Geopolitics, another big input, Israel, Gaza, Iran, these things are all important. So we try to latch on to any theme we can and try to extract profit in any way that we can across various timeframes.
Tommy, I was going to say, I want to make sure that everybody that's listening in right now understands the fact that you and David are traders first and foremost. You happen to be here talking about the breakout because you'd managed putting it all together, but you guys are traders. This is your bread and butter, correct?
Oh yeah, we're in the trenches every morning, early till after lunch or late in the day. That's what we do. And you asked about the New York office, or even the Chicago office is much bigger. That's the headquarters. But here in New York, we have a great diverse team. We have some remote people as well, but we're always talking. It's about idea generation, sharing. It's a team collaborative environment. We trade an individual book, but I'm rooting for the guy or the girl next to me just as much as I'm rooting for myself. That's just how it is. It's a great environment to work in here.
And that actually is something that I think a lot of people don't understand about when you're trading at a prop firm, what you guys do. Everybody's on the same team. It's kind of like, in the ForexAnalytix community, we're not trying to outshine each other. We're just all trying to make money. And, right. Any which way we can do it. And so that kind of culture is such a positive culture that I found doing it for a little over 4 years. similar. You know, you're just trying to help your trader right next to you. I love it. And thank you, Tommy, for your response. Dave, let me ask you this. Since we have you guys here, tell us a little bit about the breakout itself. You know, what is it?
Sure. Well, it's kind of an interesting story. So let me give you some background to this. So about 6 months ago, Tommy approaches me in the office. He had just been on an overnight flight from somewhere, and he can't sleep on planes, he tells me. So he was watching a movie, and he was watching, he says to me, have you ever seen Gran Turismo? And I'm like, no idea what you're talking about, Tommy. So he tells me the premise of the film is that Gran Turismo, it's a true story about a racing team, a car racing team, who decide they need to find some professional drivers. And the way they do it is they start a competition, like a simulated, almost Xbox type driving competition. And it turns out they hire a few, they go through hundreds of different drivers who want to enter the competition, and they end up hiring some guys who become professional race car drivers. And Tommy said to me, what do you think about this in discretionary trading? We could offer a simulated or a platform of live prices, but we're not trading real money, and we're looking for good traders. And I thought about it for a bit, and I'm like, that's a pretty good idea, actually, because we can get out to a lot of people and really offer a platform to trade and then see who we think can trade. So we presented this to the senior management at Gelber, Brian Gelber, and a few other managers. They liked the idea. They gave Tommy the go-ahead. And basically, here we are. We're about to launch in a month's time. We'll be launching. It's going to be a 2-month trading competition for futures and FX. And it's not just about making money. We're gonna judge you on a lot of different criteria, both quantitative and qualitative. And we're looking for discretionary traders who have been out there for a couple of years. Maybe they're trading retail. Maybe they want to make the next step. That's why we call it the breakout. And we're giving them an opportunity to trade for two months, show us what they're capable of doing, and there'll be cash prizes, but there'll also be an opportunity to interview for a job at the end of it.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you this really quick. I mean, if I enter and I don't win the cash prize, does that mean I don't get an interview?
Not at all. You know, there'll be a cash prize for the winner with the P&L, but that doesn't mean to say that's the guy or girl we're going to hire. We're going to be looking at a lot of things. We're going to be talking to you. We're going to be mentoring you throughout the competition, and there will be a lot of criteria that Tommy and I and the other committee members have been talking about that will decide if you are potentially going to get a job at Gelber.
All right. Well, okay. Let me go back to Tommy really quick. Tommy, tell us exactly why you're doing this. What's your ultimate goal at Gelber Group?
The short answer is we're bullish on trading, and as Dave said, we are looking to hire traders. Like other prop firms, of course, we recruit from the top universities, but trading is very difficult. It takes a couple of years. It takes a lot of time to know who can develop a successful and consistent process in this business. So we're really intrigued by this explosive growth narrative that's in the retail trading community. We believe there's a lot of untapped talent out there, and we want to find retail traders who have already had some success and have a process. And, as Dave said, we could bring them into Gelber, and hopefully with our guidance and mentoring and capital, technology, our support, we could morph them into a 7-figure trader here at Gelber. So we also think it's a cool opportunity for competition participants to get a look at us and see firsthand how a prop trading firm operates daily, how, they'll be able to interact directly with successful traders here. So it'll be mutually beneficial.
Yeah, I love the idea. And like I said, having an opportunity like this, it just doesn't come across to anybody. And it never has up until like right this very moment in time. It was always about who where did you work, who's some good trade. It's word of mouth. And I think it's just amazing what you guys are doing. Dave, let me ask you this. What does your ideal candidate look like that you're looking for specifically? Because I know you guys have a committee. So tell us what you're looking for.
So you need to be 21 years of older, and you need to be a legal US resident for the initial application to this competition. We would like to see you with, say, 1 to 2 years trading experience and some sort of P&L profile. And we'd like you to be able to articulate your trading style. So whether it be writing us a trading plan down or discussing your style, because we feel that we're likely that successful traders are able to articulate a plan and then put it into practice. And we're not just looking for guys who are kind of putting their fingers up in the air and flipping a coin as to where the market's going.
All right. But how many traders would you be looking for? Like, let's say every trader that applies looks exactly like your perfect profile. How many traders are you going to hire?
Well, if that happens, we'll be very lucky. But I think that's, as you know from your experience in trading, that's probably not going to happen. We don't want to give numbers right now. This is the initial, the initial go of the context. So we'll be hiring a few traders, hopefully, but it will depend on what we see coming in. It will depend how successful the guys are. So we're not really going to put a number on the number of traders that we're bringing in at this point.
All right. Well, Tommy, can you tell us how you're going to decide who wins the money, who gets offered an interview or possible trading role? Can you tell us a little bit more specifics about that?
Yeah, well, Blake, the prize money is very straightforward. It's purely P&L performance based. So at the end of the 2-month competition, whoever's number 1 in P&L wins $20,000. Number 2, $10,000, and number 3, $5,000. So it's a good amount of prize money. We're really excited to see who wins that. In terms of who we offer a job to, that's going to be entirely at our discretion. We're going to use plenty of different trading analytics to quantitatively judge the traders, things like trade entry skills or sizing decisions, or how did they play offense and defense in certain situations. And of course, things like win-loss ratio, Sharpe ratio, some of the standard stuff like that. But as Dave alluded to, we're also going to evaluate them qualitatively, and we're going to look for certain personality traits. For example, how obsessed are they with trading? How do they emotionally handle big losses? Or can they communicate, in an articulate way? A number of other criteria, but I don't want to give away all of our proprietary secrets. We think some of these intangibles are what can set certain traders apart. So, at the end of the breakout, at the end of October, maybe, let's just say there's 50 people in this competition. Maybe you're number 10 in P&L. But you stick out to us because you check a lot of the boxes with, things that I just described. You're actually the person we would want to hire, not necessarily the prize winner. So, someone like that would go through the interview process, the background check process, and hopefully be able to join one of our teams here in New York or in Chicago. And we're even open to remote traders. We would prefer that they come to New York or Chicago for a few months to get acquainted, get to know the trading manager, but that's an option as well.
All right. Well, Dave, you are obviously not from New York City based on your accent. So why is it only for US residents at this point?
So just purely, Gelber is based in the US. Our 2 biggest offices, our biggest office is Chicago. New York is much smaller, but we have a nice presence in New York. We would like to find traders that will initially probably work in Chicago or New York office. So they will be in our offices for 3 to 6 months initially. And for some legal reasons, we want to keep it to US citizens, or sorry, not US citizens, US residents only for the time being.
All right. Well, guys, I'm going to say it has been awesome to have you here and answering all these questions, because I know so many traders have questions, and there's a lot of traders that come in, watch our show, they're heading off to work, they got to take their kids somewhere. And I know there's going to be a lot of people listening to this recording, over the course of the next week, especially over the weekend, and wanting to understand exactly what you're doing. So where is the place that if I'm listening in and I'm just now hearing about who you guys are and what you're doing, how do I find out more information about the Gelber Group and the Breakout?
Check out our website, gelbergroup.com, and then gelbergroup.com/thebreakout is where you can learn all about the competition. You can see the official rules, see all of the, the prize money. It links to the application. So everything's there. We did create a Twitter account. It's at Gelber Breakout. So you could follow for updates there as well.
I'm actually gonna do that. Because I didn't even know that. So I wanna one last thing before I let you guys go. You guys have the truly the pleasure and honor of working and trading with one of and being around one of the trading greats of our generation, with Brian Gelber. Tell us a little bit about him and what it's like working and trading alongside of somebody of that stature.
So the interesting thing about Brian, and it is, a real pleasure and honor working with him. The interesting thing is he's as involved in the business now as he was 19 years ago when I joined Gelber, and probably 10, 15 years before that. He wants to mentor young guys, he wants to mentor young traders to be successful in this business. And he is super enthusiastic about trading, about the markets. He'll talk to you all day about the markets, and that just reflects throughout the firm. And so he's built a nice culture within Gelber, and that's what we're looking to continue.
That's pretty awesome. Like I said, if people are listening in right now, you're listening to the recording, you're listening to this live, you are in the markets, you are thinking, man, how am I going to trade? How am I going to make more money? How can I surround myself with some of the best? I mean, this is your opportunity right here, guys. I mean, that's it. I mean, when you have one of the original market wizards, traders within your purview, it's pretty amazing. Guys, I want to say it's been wonderful having you here. Thank you so much for informing our community, and really thank you for this opportunity that you're giving the retail community, because like I said, for most of us, we don't have these opportunities. I mean, we do a little bit with the trader funding program, but it's virtual. I mean, you guys have brick and mortar offices and have for a quarter century. It's pretty amazing. So thank you so much for this opportunity for our community. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Blake.
Thank you for having us on
as well.
Yeah, it's an honor, and we look forward to seeing who applies. So come and see if you can break out.
There we go. I like it, Tommy. I love it. All right. And David, it has been such a wonderful pleasure meeting you guys. And, I'm going to be texting you guys all the time now about the Euro. So just keep your phones ready, because it's going to happen from my end. So, all right, everybody, make sure you check out the Gelber Group. Make sure you check out the Breakout. Remember, it's free to apply and it's free to enter. And if you're at the top of the leaderboard, you can win cash prizes. And don't feel disappointed if you're not, you're like, well, I'm not in the US, because, if this is a success, I'm hoping that these guys might be able to do it again, and maybe expand out beyond the US. So let's help make this breakout a success, so these guys will be doing it again and again and again. So thank you, gentlemen, so much. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Tommy, David, you guys are really awesome, and good luck out there. I hope you guys kill it for NFP tomorrow.
Thanks Blake.
Best of luck.
All right, Dale, anything you want to add on the way out?
What a great presentation, and you encapsulated it, Blake. There aren't the kind of opportunities that there used to be when there were trading floors like the CME and CBOT, for you to go and meet guys like Brian and actually get to talk to them. So gosh, strike when the iron's hot. And, remember, most of all, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Thank you, David and Tommy and your whole group, for, giving people some hope in the industry. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Great job too, Blake.
Thank you. Thanks, Dale. And you guys, good luck today. And we'll see you tomorrow for non-farm payroll.
We sure will. Adios, everyone. Good hunting.
Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we provide here for free. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.